Good morning and welcome to the Corona Chat with Matt. Lots going on in the world right now, and can't help but think we need to get to God's Word to get our answers. And this world will not have the answers that we're looking for. This world will not give me the satisfaction of those answers. And so I woke up this morning just kind of searching and looking for what God has to say about what my perspective is and what I'm going through. So this is personally what I'm going through, and I know that it's hard to say that, when we're talking about the Bible, but hopefully you'll get something out of it as I am on my journey, as that's what we've been doing. I've been getting these golden nuggets for myself, sharing them on video, and it's no different right now. This is kind of what we're going through. So, so I started out with Jm3. So we're in the book of James, and it starts out by painting this picture that the damage that can be done with my words by what I say, and my mouth can be evil. It's full of poison. It can be, and James kind of uses some illustrations. It turns great ships. It starts great fires, and there's a reason for that. And in verse 9 through 12, it explains that Christians find themselves praising God, but then cursing and acting completely opposite. And it's not supposed to be that way. If we're a Christian, if we're a disciple, follower of Jesus, we shouldn't be talking out of the other side of our mouth. And he's starting to paint this picture. Can fresh and salt water come from the same spring? Can should fig trees bear olives? Etc. He's just kind of giving us these illustrations, these examples. And in verse 13 through 18, basically, if I'm a disciple, claiming to be a follower of Jesus, I should be showing this by the way that I live. My life should match what I'm claiming, and it should overflow out of me. And it's kind of like when we think about the fruit of the Spirit. You can't fake the fruit of the Spirit. Right when you're trying to go for one part of the fruit, then the other part is lacking. The relationship with God, the fruit of the Spirit is displayed. It gives a certain fruit that has all of the different textures to that one fruit. And it's sort of like that. If we have a relationship with Jesus, then the overflow of that relationship should show in our life. It should show in my life. People should be able to see it. And so we end up in verse 17, and it says, "But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure." So if my wisdom is from heaven, if it's from God, then it's pure. Then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. These are my fruits. These are what I should see coming out of a follower of Jesus. When I look in the mirror, I've got to ask myself, am I displaying this? Purity. Like, how's it really going? Am I asking myself, how pure am I really? What am I looking at? What's coming out of my heart? Do I think pure thoughts? Or is my go-to impure? Peace-loving. Do I love peace and helping others to achieve peace in their lives? Am I looking to consider others before I speak to try to help them to have peace? That brings us to being considerate. Am I considerate? Do I think before I speak? A lot of times it's almost like my tongue has car accidents, and I'm speeding, and before you know it, I've run a red light, and boom, I get in this big car accident, and I hurt others, and I hurt myself, and do I find myself being inconsiderate, not thinking before I open my mouth? Am I full of mercy and good fruit? Do I forgive quickly, even when others don't deserve it, or when I think they don't deserve it? And I'm just being honest here. I know I don't deserve it. Like, I deserve death. I deserve justice. If I were brought before God, I'd be busted. So I've got to ask myself, is my heart still, brothers, what shall we do? Because I'm on the hook for Jesus' death. So am I like, hey, what can I do to get off the hook for the death of your son, God? I know that I'm going to deserve lightning bolts. I deserve hell. I really do. I deserve that crucifixion. But he's the one who took that on. So do I have this attitude of, brothers, what can I do to get off the hook for this? And I'm so grateful for the answer, and it ends up bearing a fruit of Acts 2:42, just being committed to one another and loving one another. And even though I'm from 12 different parts of the known world that have everything in common, because of that sharing of the gratitude in our hearts, because we've been let off the hook for something that we should have received, and that gratitude should overflow from me into others. Is that the fruit that's being displayed? Am I impartial and sincere? And I have to think about that. Am I treating others equally and really meaning it? Not being benevolent. I think a lot of us can be benevolent in our heart, but that's condescending. That's, oh, that poor person, oh, I feel bad for them, what they're going through. But that's not equality. Equality is not seeing the difference. And of course we're feeling the pain because we're all part of the same body. So we're all the same, and that's truly equality. So looking into James 3 this morning, personally, I've got a ton of growing to do.